Hey guys, in this video we're going to talk about Chris Pine spilling the truth about Harry Styles, the crew of the new Idol series exposing the toxic set, and the ageist tweets against Emilia Clarke. First up, Chris Pine has now addressed the allegations that he got spat on by Harry Styles. The actor sat down for an interview with Esquire where he addressed the viral conspiracy theory that the singer spat on him at the screening of Don't Worry Darling. He said, "Harry did not spit on me. Harry's a very kind guy. I'm flying back from Venice and I'm sleeping, having a great time on the plane." At this point, he says that his publicist woke him up and said, "We have to craft a message about what happened in Venice." When Chris was clearly confused, she explained the viral story that was going around. He went on to say, "I had no idea what happened. She showed me the thing and it does look indeed like Harry spitting on me. He didn't spit on me." Apparently, Harry leaned down and whispered something to him along the lines of, "It's just words, isn't it?" According to Chris, it was an inside joke between the two of them about being exhausted, jet-lagged, and trying to answer all the questions. He said, "Sometimes when you're doing all these press things, your brain goes befuddled and you start speaking gibberish. And we had a joke, 'It's just words, man,' which is actually a very reasonable explanation for how the whole thing went down." Fans went crazy when footage showed Harry Styles approaching Chris to take a seat next to him during the screening of the movie. Then the singer made a subtle motion with his mouth and people thought that it looked like him spitting. To make matters worse, Chris reacts by looking down at his lap and shaking his head. In the viral clip, it really does seem like something landed on his lap. The theory then made the rounds on social media, and for a time it seemed like everyone was talking about it. It got so bad that both Harry and Olivia separately addressed the rumors. Later on in his Esquire interview, Chris explained that if there was drama on the set of the movie, then he wasn't aware of it. He said, "If there was drama, there was drama. I absolutely didn't know about it, nor really would I have cared. If I feel badly, it's because the vitriol that the movie got was absolutely out of proportion with what was on screen." The actor talked about the premiere at the Venice Film Festival and said that things got swept up and turned into something ridiculous. He also joked about the memes that went around of him zoning out mid-interview. Apparently, a lot of the questions were just not that interesting, so he couldn't really help but zone out and start looking at the ceiling. Fans thought it was hilarious that Chris was looking bored during several key moments of the press tour. From those few moments, there were pictures and videos of him disassociating which went viral online. This happened in press junket interviews, panels, and even on the red carpet. One of the best videos shows Harry saying, "My favorite thing about the movie is that it feels like a movie," while the camera zooms in on Chris Pine's lifeless eyes, with the caption, "Chris Pine rethinking his entire life decisions that led him to this point," and you can almost see the screams catching in his throat. Another viral meme shows 4 pictures of him from the press conference panel where he gazes at the ceiling, studies the cap on his water bottle, and his eyeballs roll fully to the back of his head. The internet started jumping to all kinds of conclusions, with some saying that he hated the cast so much that he was actively willing his consciousness to leave its current state. But other members of the cast have also had to hit back at the feud rumors as well. Harry joked about the Spitgate conspiracy theory during his concert at Madison Square Gardens, when he said, "Wonderful to be back in New York. I just popped by very quickly to Venice to spit on Chris Pine." During an appearance on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert in late September, Olivia Wilde addressed that very same rumor. She said, "Spitgate, which you might have heard about, is a perfect example of people who will look for drama anywhere they can. Harry did not spit on Chris Pine." So at least now we can say that we know the truth about what really happened in that moment. Now let's talk about all the drama on the set of The Idol. For the past several months, HBO has been relentlessly hyping up the new series that's created by The Weeknd and stars Lily Rose Depp. But on Wednesday, Rolling Stone published an explosive report which claimed that production of the series has become wildly, disgustingly off the rails and turned into an X-rated torture movie. 13 anonymous sources from production have described the chaotic and toxic set. The Idol was originally set to be directed by Amy Seimetz, but in April she was fired. The Weeknd felt that the series was leaning too much into the female perspective, with more focus on Lily's character than his own. In the show, he plays a seedy self-help guru and cult leader who becomes romantically involved with a young troubled pop star. With Amy kicked out, The Weeknd brought in Sam Levinson from Euphoria as the new director, and together they decided to make the show more disturbingly graphic and physically violent than it was ever seen before. They reportedly added in an extreme amount of degrading scenes for Lily's character. According to sources from production, The Idol was supposed to be about a starlet falling victim to a predatory industry figure and fighting to reclaim her own agency. But the scripts that Sam wrote now feature such explicit and disturbing content that most crew members have found offensive and alarming. One specific scene involves The Weeknd doing something to Lily Rose with an egg, which is so disgusting it cannot even be explained. moment. But that was only cut out of the script because the filmmakers couldn't logistically make that scene happen without cracking the egg. When crew members read this, they were understandably horrified. One of them was quoted saying, "It was like a fantasy that any toxic man would have in the show, and then the woman comes back for more because it makes her music better." Another criticism was that the series was constantly being reshot and rewritten in real time. Amy had already completed 80% of the filming, and despite the fact that the $75 million project was nearly finished, they chose to scrap the whole thing. Because of this, sources claim that shooting constantly went behind schedule and scripts finished late. And how did The Weeknd respond to the controversy? Well, in the worst way possible. He failed to address any of the concerns in the report and simply tweeted, "Rolling Stone, did we upset you?" But his smug response drew swift backlash from critics. Culture writer Jordan Crucciolio wrote, "This is a very glib way to respond to corroborated accounts of an unprofessional and possibly compromising work environment where the crew says they're being mistreated, on a show where you're the co-creator, star, and one of the few credited writers, and probably also an executive producer. Gross." Another user wrote, "Everyone rightfully getting on Sam Levinson, but we have to also put the blame on The Weeknd for making room for him to do this. None of this would have happened if Abel didn't fire the female director because he didn't like the fact that the show focused only on the female perspective." The funniest part about all of this is that there's already people criticizing the acting before they've actually seen it. Someone tweeted, "Y'all were gonna watch a TV show starring Lily Rose Depp and The Weeknd? Who's gonna do the acting?" Lily Rose was probably feeling the pressure as well because she tried to jump in and defend the creators. She said, "Sam is, for so many reasons, the best director I have ever worked with. Never have I felt more supported or respected in a creative space. My input and opinions were more valued." The show does have an impressive cast though, with names like Dan Levy and the late actor Anne Heche in her final role. There are also other artists like Troye Sivan, Moses Sumney, and Jennie Kim from Blackpink, even though she apparently only has 2 to 3 lines per episode. The Idol is expected to come out sometime in 2023, but right now it's still unclear when it will actually debut. Moving on, have you seen the horrible tweets about Emilia Clarke? Last week, the Game of Thrones actress posted a makeup-free, filter-free selfie on Instagram, which showed her grinning at the camera. She captioned the photo, "Mom got me a mug. I felt it was important to share this newfound wisdom. Use it and reap the rewards." One of the hashtags she used said, "My cold just got its medicine," which makes it seem like she's been sick recently. Although lots of Emilia's followers were quick to send her their love and messages of support, sadly the photo ended up on the wrong side of the internet. A blatantly misogynistic gamer named John Miller shared a screenshot of the post on Twitter, and he wrote, "LMAO, wow, Daenerys Targaryen didn't just hit a wall, she flew into it full speed on a dragon." That remark was him making fun of the fact that she's obviously aged since she first appeared on Game of Thrones, which was literally 12 years ago when she was just 24. That awful tweet went viral and several other people commented in agreement. Someone wrote, "With that hairline, I understand why HBO used a wig." Another person referenced the message on her mug and said, "Only people who use mugs like this are those who are in fact not doing effing great in any way whatsoever." But for all the nastiness attacking Emilia's appearance, there were also thousands of comments calling out John Miller, and it wasn't long before it led to a wider conversation about the way society views women as they age. One user tweeted, "Emilia Clarke was beautiful when she was 22. She's still an extremely beautiful woman here. She's just aged, which hasn't made her any less beautiful. I fail to see the problem with this picture." Another person wrote, "Imagine dunking on a woman because she looked more perfect when she was younger, in movie quality lighting, makeup, and camera angles." Some people also pointed to the fact that the increased use of filters and plastic surgery has really warped everyone's perception of aging, which is true, but a lot of these comments actually miss the bigger picture. Emilia revealed that while she was filming Game of Thrones, she suffered 2 life-threatening brain aneurysms. The first was in 2011 and the second was 2 years later. This made a large amount of her brain unusable, and after 2 surgeries, she said that quite a bit is missing. She went on BBC TV and said, "It's remarkable that I'm able to speak, sometimes articulately, and live my life completely normally with absolutely no repercussions." But after the surgery, both operations required long recovery periods, where she said that she couldn't remember her own name and had panic attacks. Emilia said, "In my worst moments, I wanted to pull the plug. I asked the medical staff to let me die." Thankfully, she was able to make a full recovery and she's gotten back her passion for life since. These days, she's rarely seen without a huge smile on her face and is known for her infectious optimism. So after surviving all of that, it's really disheartening to see that there are still people trying to insult her for something as surface level as her appearance. But she's not alone. Another celebrity that's been dealing with constant body shaming at the moment is Selena Gomez. She appeared at this year's Golden Globes wearing a strapless Valentino gown with big purple sleeves and a deep off-the-shoulder neckline. But it wasn't long before haters on social media labeled her as dumpy, criticized her weight, and asked her whether or not she is pregnant. To make matters worse, a lot of the comments were very backhanded, like calling her brave just for posing on the red carpet, and the body shaming has only gotten more intense since then. In response, Selena decided to go live on TikTok to address the comments that she's read about her weight gain. She started off by saying when she's on her lupus medication, she tends to hold a lot of water weight. She said, "My medications are important, and I believe they are what helps me." She then has to pause and starts tearing up. She says, "I'm not a model and I never will be." In a previous interview, she talked about the changes in her body and said, "I have lupus and deal with kidney issues and high blood pressure, so I deal with a lot of health issues. For me, that's when I really started noticing more of the body image stuff. It's the medication I have to take for the rest of my life. It depends on the month, to be honest. I really started noticing when people started attacking me for that." But it's sad that she even feels a need to defend her appearance in the first place. Luckily, she seems like she's in a really good place with her overall health and well-being at the moment. So what do you guys think of this latest story? Please let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next video.